So, yeah, what's the main thing you've noticed that's different since you last visited Seoul?
Well, the biggest change in Korea is that you're leading the world now in mobile smartphones. Now, I sort of expected that, but now it's true. When I first started coming here maybe 4 years ago, you had almost no smartphone penetration. It was basically feature phones that were complicated and relatively specialized. And now everyone is using the most modern smartphones, and 85% of the smartphones sold in Korea are running Android.
Yeah.
So Korea has the highest penetration of mobile, the highest penetration of Android, and the fastest internets in the world. What's not to like about Korea?
Yeah. So you mentioned the third flow of the internet yesterday, and you said Koreans leading the third
Absolutely.
flow. So can you tell me about it?
One way to think about the history of your country is that maybe 10 years ago, the government and private industry decided to make a bet on broadband. And when the country made the bet on broadband, it unleashed the power of young people. In particular, it developed a whole category called mobile gaming. And as you know, Korea leads the world in gaming and so forth. I'm amazed that you're here and not playing games, right? That's how strong that industry is. And the quality of the work done there and the connectivity and ability of doing things in parallel and broadband, I think met the emotional and cultural need of Koreans to do things quickly. So if you think about it now, everything's interconnected and everything is instantaneous because of broadband and because of all that technology. So to me, the biggest change has been that you went from relatively specialized solutions, your own phone systems, your own gaming systems, to really using the internet as a global platform. This is important because it means that the businesses that you all found will have a global audience, not just a Korean audience.
Yeah, so your meeting today, our meeting today reminds me of your commencement speech at Berkeley. You said that when we are awake, we are all online and we are connected. It was really impressive.
One of the questions is, when you all wake up in the morning, what is the first thing you do?
Find my
check your
smartphone.
phones.
Yeah.
You check your phones. Before you go to sleep, what's the last thing you do?
Check my smartphone.
You check your phones. If you wake up in the middle of the night, what do?
Check my
You check
phone.
your phones,
Yeah.
okay? So, and with Koreans, you just set your alarm to wake up so you can check your phones, right? Because you're so intense.
Yeah, you're
so
right.
if you're awake, you're online, and the fact that the world is now so completely connected in this way is phenomenal. It's absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, and Psy is the perfect example of that, I think.
Well, what's nice about Psy, who, by the way, is actually a brilliant musician and performer and a great gift, I think, to Korea, is, and I now understand his history a little bit better, he had been working very hard in the K-pop industry for a decade, 12 years or so. And K-pop was this phenomena in Korea and to some degree in Japan, but no one had ever heard about it. And K-pop's really quite good, by the way. You needed something that would connect, that would give you a global audience. And YouTube is where most music breaks now.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So it turns out that in Psy's case, he released this amazing Gangnam style. No one in my world knew what Gangnam was, by the way.
Gangnam, not
Gangnam, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You say it correctly, I apologize.
Gangnam style.
Gangnam style. I won't say it right, I apologize. And we've all now learned that this is the area of Seoul where interesting and important things happen.
Yeah, you're right. So has it made you curious about visiting Gangnam?
Yes, it turns out I was staying there.
Oh, cool. Do you have any regular restaurant or bar that you like here?
No, and I have terrible judgment in that, but Google has a particularly good set of services that rate and rank such things, and I would encourage you to use them.
All right. So, yeah, in your speech, you also emphasized the importance of innovation and entrepreneurship. So, do you think these also apply to students growing up Korea?
Absolutely.
Seeking to become successful?
What are the characteristics of entrepreneurs? They're visionary. they're smart, they're well educated, they're aggressive, and they take risks. Does this sound like Korea? Sure sounds it to me.
Well, I don't know, but some Koreans, especially some young, really smart and brilliant Koreans, they just end up going to law school or med school, you know, instead of launching startup companies.
I am happy for them to go to law school and med school and then do their startup.
That's good. What's the difference?
There's a reason why innovation occurs with young people. And that innovation occurs with young people because you have less to lose. You have more choices. You can work harder. You can try new things. So in America, I can tell you that the innovation comes with young people and not from the established industries. I, for example, I'm on the board of something called the Khan Academy, which is a different way of doing education. The guy who founded it is a physicist. He's not an educator. So a general rule is that really disruptive things come from other places. They come from somebody who has a passion. And I can think of no better group than the people in front of me to think about what is your passion and try it. And in the worst case, you'll have had an interesting experience, you'll fail at what you're doing, and then you can get a nice comfy job in a normal place.
Nice comfy job, like, you know, being a doctor or...
Well, but on a relative basis.
All right.
You're better off taking the risks when you're young because you can do it then. Once you're older and you're settled and you have kids and so forth and so on, and mortgages, it's much harder. And that's why entrepreneurship breaks out young.
Yeah. So I also recently read your column, How to Win in a Network Age.
Yes.
So the network age refers to the current generation that now shares information through the digital screen. So unlike in the past. And in your article, you stated that identity and connection define our new networked age. Can you explain what you mean by this to these students?
It's traditional for older people to criticize the behavior of young people.
Yeah.
Being a young person, I'm sure you're used to this.
I'm not that young, actually.
We disagree.
Yeah.
We disagree. But it's traditional that adults and parents will criticize your behavior. They'll say, oh, they spend all their time online. Oh, they're not doing this and that. And they don't understand what you're doing. What you're doing is you're living your life in the networked age. You're always connected. You're more connected than I was. That's the point.
Yeah.
You're more communicative than I was. When I was growing up, I was stuck in front of a television and I was reading books. By the way, please still read books and still please watch television, especially MBC. But
Thank you so much.
the important point here is you're always connected, and when you're, for example, watching television, you're probably also online.
So yeah, many of the students here today dream of becoming global leaders like you. So in their own fields, or whether it be in IT or otherwise. So I'm sure that they are all interested in your thoughts on achieving this. So let's invite our panel of students today. Please come on up.